Hi there, it's Wendy from Ask the Landlady. I'm here with all the tips and tricks to help you make a profit in real estate rentals. And today's question is, how do I create an inspection form for my apartment rentals? If you've been following me for a while or read my book, Lessons from the Landlady, out on Amazon, or my website, askthelandlady.com. Anyway, if you've been following me, you know that I talk about inspections. Inspections are important for several reasons. First of all, you want to make sure that your tenant is following your lease procedures, that the house is clean, that they're following our rules, and we always do this with a little furnace filter check because, again, you want to make sure HVAC stays in tip-top shape, and those furnace filters are a big part of that maintenance. So that kind of gives you the impetus to get in the door, and then you can have a little checklist to make sure that everything else is kosher. Ideally, you do this at least twice a year. I know some landladies and landlords are like, you should do it every couple months. Well, I found in my experience, and I know if I was that tenant, I'd be a little irritated if you're coming in every 2 months, checking things out. It gets a little, invasive. So twice a year seems reasonable because spring and fall, you're going in and you're changing out that furnace filter, and it gives you the chance to look around. Now, that's not to say if there's not somebody that you're a little iffy about, or you drive by and you see a bunch of trash all over the yard and the porch, you might be like, I need to do an inspection, and so you'll find a reason to do that inspection. Obviously, following your state guidelines, which for us in Ohio is 24-hour written notice, so we'll provide them with a written notice that we're going to come in and do that inspection. So again, first of all, make sure you give appropriate notice for doing that furnace filter check, that inspection, and give that in a written form. At your multi-units, you can post signs, certainly, and we have ones that we'll mail them out, or we'll just do a little drive-by and drop off our letters all around town, 2 days before, telling them the day that we're going to be coming in and doing that furnace filter check. That gives them a chance to call if somebody's sick, somebody has COVID, whatever. We can then reschedule and say, okay, fine, we'll come the following week, and you can work that out. But at least you're getting that out there and getting them on notice that you're coming into that unit, and checking things out. Now, again, you don't want to make this too difficult or onerous for you because you've got enough to do as a landlady. You're busy. You might even have another job. You have kids. You have lots of other stuff. Last thing you want to do is going in and making sure everybody's doing what they're supposed to be doing. Here's mom, but it is important. So just have a simple checklist where you're like, change filter, furnace filter, great. A little simple check of, is everything look good? Check. And you can hire somebody else to do this, which is great too. If you don't have the time, you can hire somebody, it would be great to have a handyman or somebody like that who can go through. And it's also a good chance to say, especially a lot of times like our furnaces are right by our hot water tanks, they can say, oh, this hot water tank's dripping. This might become an issue. So a good rule of thumb is to have somebody that has a good set of eyes that can go through and say, this looks clean and nice, this looks great, check. Here's the furnace filter, oh, everything looks good, or oh no, there's a broken window, or oh, they have a cat, doesn't say they're supposed to have a cat. These are the types of things that we like to hear in the office, that because if there's a contraband pet, then we're going to address it. You're not allowed to have a pet. You would need to either get rid of the pet, or if we see the pet, or if they say, oh, it's just a cat, it was a nice cat, okay, fine, we'll let you have it, but then there's a fee involved, and you're going to have to start paying pet fees, and so that could be a little moneymaker. And if you find that pet in there and it's an okay pet and you decide to keep it, if it's a bad pet, then you want them out. You want the pet out, maybe even the person out. And if the housekeeping is out of control, then in my state, we have to give them a chance to rectify that. So I will give them a letter and say, okay, I'm going to be back next Wednesday, 10 a.m., and we're going to make sure that there's some progress. If there's progress, you have to keep working with them. If there's no progress, then you can take the steps to get rid of that tenant and non-renew their lease, or that they're tearing the place apart and they need to go. So that's all there is to it. It's just a quick looky look in there to make sure everything's kosher. Again, you want to find out now rather than later. I think some people want to bury their head in the sand. They're like, I'm afraid that it's going to be a wreck. I'm going to be upset if I go in there and see it. You know what? Knowledge is power. Go in there and find it now because they're in your unit. And you know what? They still want to live there. They don't want to leave. It's like, okay, well, let's itemize this. We're going to have to get new carpet here. And you punched some holes in the wall. You're going to have to pay for that. While they're still there, you might be able to get them on the hook and get them to pay for these items. I've actually had that situation happen where somebody was in a big fight, domestic abuse type situation. That person left. we did an inspection and found some damages, you know what, that person worked with us because they wanted to stay there. They wanted to do it, and they knew that they were responsible for it. So then you can go through the process of billing them for it, getting them paid, getting your unit back to where it should be. It can work, but again, you have to do the inspections, you have to do that work to check it out and see how things are. So that's all there is to it. Again, it's not easy being a landlady or landlord, and we're all in this together. So do you do inspections? If you have rental property, I'd love to know. Shoot me something in the comments and say, yeah, I do inspections, or no, I haven't, but maybe I should, or how often do you do them? Because we can all learn from each other. I'm still learning every day too. So that's it. I hope you go forth and inspect your units and get that knowledge and continue to make a profit in real estate rentals. Thanks, and have a great day.